So let's get you as a teacher up and running in no time using Fame. So go to the address myfame.org and you'll see on the website that there's a pink button for the free trial. You click on that one, and then from the options that you see on the screen, choose the one that it is for teachers. This has all the information, the tools, the pedagogy, the curriculum that you need to set up a full school and a full class. So you click on that again, it's going to open a screen that is requesting your information. And what you will need for that is you're going to need 3 separate email addresses. You need one from the admin that you see is asking who's going to be the admin for that account. Then you need a separate email address for teachers. And they will recommend that you also have a separate student address checking what they see as a student before you assign them to any of the courses. So on this one, you go back to that screen, you enter your information. This is my first name, my last name, and my school address for now. Make sure you read that right here before you accept this, so you understand how they work, and then you click on the sign me up for free. Now this will send an email to that email address that I just entered. Let's check on that. This is my email address, and then you'll receive 2 emails. It is sending each one of the emails from separate servers. So if you, in case that you have any firewall in your school, it's trying to really get through that so you can receive the emails. Make sure that if you don't see any of these emails, check on your junk email and then mark them as not spam or not junk, because we'll be sending a lot of emails passing this point. Now both emails, they contain the same information. As you can see, one is from Fame and then the other one's from the VANAS, which is the parent company of Fame. Now either or, again, they have the same information. You click on that now and it is going to open the onboarding process for you. The educational institution, right? You click on continue. Make sure that you enter the name of your institution, what it is that you want your students to see. For this one, Mario School, for this example. And then select the country. This would be very important because there's settings for privacy that are cross-country, cross-border that you have to set on this one. So I'm going to pick Canada on this one, and then the province also is important, and you click on continue. This information is sensitive information. The username right there, do not forget that username, because if you do, you cannot access Fame, right? So now you are going to be entering Mario School. I can say Mario Admin. You click on continue. And again, this would be a step for you to really take advantage of. You can send invites automatically, notifying your teachers, hey, listen, I'm opening a Fame account. Please open yours right now. If you have emails, you enter them right there. Right, you can just enter it, and then this button right there, it activates. You send that email right there. If you don't have anyone just now and you want to test Fame, then you click on this one. It cancels this button, but now it gives you access to the other one, right? And then that's it. Pretty simple onboarding process. You click on that, and then you're taken to Fame. Okay, so once you activate the account from your email, you'll be landing on the main page for Fame. You will notice 2 things. The first one would be that you have the name of the account that you open and also the role of that account. The role is very important. The menus that you see right there will be relevant to that role and will change depending on the role. There's admins, teachers, and students. Now the second thing that you will notice is that up here you will see your school's name or organization's name. This is also very important because the students will log into Fame because of you, and they will see you as a familiar organization or institution to log in or to follow the steps. Now going back to the admin, there's 3 menus that are very important to this role. One is the users. One would be the billing for the budget of the school, and also the privacy settings at the bottom right there. These 3 menus are relevant, are only seen by the admin role right there. So let's go one by one. Starting with the users menu, you go right there and click on that menu, and you'll see that so far it is an empty account. It is new. You have to start adding your users. Now for the users, you need to understand how Fame works. So the user invites, it's a very linear process. All that has to do with establishing a safe learning environment. Now the admins, they invite the teachers, and the teachers invite the students. as simple as that. You will notice a menu right here that's called Actions. That Actions menu, you have Add a Teacher if you want to add one by one, or you have Import Teachers in case that you have a large number of teachers and you have an Excel sheet or a CSV file. Let's just add one by one. You click on that one, right? You have now the email, right? First name would be perhaps Sonia, then the last name would be Jones, right there. That's my teacher name. You click on that one, and now it sends the invitation. You can see now this screen starts being populated. You can see the name, you can see the type, and you can see that they haven't activated the account. So now let's go into their email to see what they received. So now I am accessing my teacher's email, Sonia, and I can see that nothing has arrived yet. I'm clicking on the inbox, I'm clicking on the other one, there's nothing right there. So, but if I go to the junk folder just to check, I can see that both emails sent by Fame are marked as spam or as junk. So now I have to go and check each one of these ones, say that this would be no junk, right? You can do that for both, right? And then they're gonna go to the inbox right there. Now, both emails are the same content, same as before. And then you go and click on one of these ones and you click on activate as well. So now that's going to initiate that onboarding process. On the onboarding process for Fame, you'll notice right away that this is a teacher account. It is only for that role specifically, and you'll see that there is 1, 2, and 3 simple steps. It says the name of the teacher, and it says also that this will be a teacher account. If they're new to Fame, it says please create a new account on Fame, and you click on continue. Same process as before. I am going to enter a username that is unique. I will copy and paste that somewhere so I don't forget about that, and also my password for that teacher, right? And they have the same agreement so they can understand it, how it works on Fame. Click on accept and then click on continue. Very simple. The idea is to get teachers up and running as fast as we can. They click on the start learning button, and again now they land in their new Fame page for teachers. Once the teacher lands on the Fame page, right, they will see first name, last name, and the role for that account, teacher, right? They want to see also the name of the school up here, and also the menus down here on the left-hand side that are relevant to the teacher account. Teachers, obviously, they have more pedagogy, curriculum, and tools for their students right there. Going back to the admin account, you can see that on this browser I have the role. It says admin. We left it on the users menu, and now I can see that my teacher Sonia, she has activated her account. It says active, and this is great for admins because now you can really see what your teachers are doing and monitor them as well in every step of the process. Now, this also has that menu on the settings. Let's go to this one right there. And if I compare now the teacher role versus the admin role, I don't have my privacy settings right there, meaning that the settings and the rules for privacy are only set by the admin account. As a teacher, I can see what the admin is doing. So if I click on that icon, the incognito icon, I can see that it says, okay, the school admin has been setting on the rules for privacy. You have to follow all these ones, and Fame will adapt to what the admin has set. Okay, so let's go through the privacy settings. And remember, all this is about digital citizenship. So let's go one by one. Gender. Some schools are co-ed and some schools are same gender. Pick the one that fits your school. For ages, typically it goes like this. For elementary students that are kids, you want them to interact with people and students of the same age. Some schools, they have split classes. That means one grade above and below. For high schools, you can pick this one that is basically allows them to interact them with a bit of a wide range of ages right there. Any post-secondary institution, then you pick all levels. Now for the globalization, some schools have that mandate for them to really get into that international level. So you pick my world. If you don't have that, then you close to the country only. right? You pick the one that you want. Now for the collaboration between schools, if you have other campuses or you have any collaboration between any sister school in your network, then you would pick either you open it to them or you close it to the school. As simple as that. Now a really useful setting is always to block the last name for privacy. You click on the switch and you can see an example right there how it actually hides or makes the last name visible. Now some schools also they require that any external resource asks for authorization. That would be this one, right? So that would happen that anyone who's under 19 that's been invited to FAME, then their parents need to know and they have to authorize that access. Some schools already have that authorization from their parents and they do not need any more. This will add also more admin process to you. So if you don't need it, then say no. Now for FERPA, PIPEDA, PIPA compliance, in a very simplistic way, this would be about how your teachers from your school can see all the other students that they may not belong to their classes, right? You set that up, either one that you want, and as an admin you can also control if your teachers can add more students, right? If they can add more teachers or delete them, so you can delegate that process to them or maybe not. As soon as you save that configuration right there, then you go to this teacher account right there, and again you can see that through these settings. Clicking on this one, these settings you can change them at any time, and as soon as you do it, you'll see them reflected on anybody that's under your account within FAME. So at this point, the admin is pretty much set with the digital citizenship. There's a couple more things to finance the account, and that would be if you click on the avatar up here. Now you can access all these settings. Customize the logo of your school, customize the interface so they can actually be familiar with the school. Your teachers and students, once they log in, they would see you, they would see the school, and you can also change the information that you have set. You can change the admin, the emails, if you want to pass it on to somebody else, and you can also go into the notification settings. Now these are the emails that you will be receiving through the time that you're using FAME. You can set it right there to be sent to you by email, or you can turn them off, and every time that you access the account, they would be collected on the dashboard right there. So that's pretty much it. Let's log out from this account. So once you have access to FAME as a teacher, make sure you have the teacher role right there. And you see the menus that belong to that role. Let's go to the most important ones right here. The course library. This is that section that you'll find all the courses that are created by subject matter experts. Take a moment to go through these ones, see the offerings, and explore them. You see familiar elements like the number of lessons that are in each course. If you click on these ones, you would see quickly how many sessions, what are the titles, what are the outcomes that are required for each one of the sessions, and also FAME, it is micro-learning. You can see duration for the lesson and also duration for the homework. So no matter which one you click, you're going to find the same structure for you to really get familiar and up and running as fast as you can. Same for that one. You're going to see that there's also 3 mini icons. The first one quickly tells you credits, hours, how can you deliver that course. If you click on the tag icon right there, this one's going to tell you field of study, the skills, the grades, the topics, software and hardware that you may need for that one, right? And so on. If you click on the last one, this would be more for the ministries, about curriculum, about outcomes, about grades, all that would be on that menu. Now, as a teacher, you have a super user mode. You'll see that every course has a review button. If you click on that review button, then you have the ability to go through the sessions to the future, past, and present. There's nothing there for you that's stopping you because you are a teacher and you need to know the content of the course. Now, session 1, it's always about the preview, what's going to happen in this course. And these sessions would be telling you in less than 1 minute what this course would be about. As you keep on going through the sessions, you'll notice that some of these tabs will be opening, right? So this one says this is about what's Python. They need to install Python, right? There's a video that shows how to do that. What would be the assignment? So the courses are fully fledged for teachers. They have the lesson, they have the assignments, right? And they also have some of the exercise files for you to really set your classroom really quickly. Now you also have the assessment. In the eventuality that you also want to grade manually from your school, FAME gives you how to assess something like this. These ones are rubrics that you're mostly familiar with and tell you, and also tells your students, what's happening in this course. There's also a private Dropbox that belongs to your school, fully private and safe for students to upload their files. So now this is how the desktops work. Make sure that you go through the sessions, through the course, before you deliver that to your students. Okay, so let's go back to the course library. Now this is where the magic happens for teachers. So there's a lot of things happening on the library. And then you can also do a search quickly. Either you click on that one and you find all the topics by scrolling down and understanding what this offers. Right? You can also enter by age. If you go grade 4 or grade 12, you can also enter by curriculum in your province or country. Right? See what this is, what's happening. And then you can also enter by field, saying computer, science, for instance. And as soon as you click on that one, then you'll find that FAME presents you with more subcategories for you to select, and also the courses that are relevant to what you're searching. As you're planning as a teacher, you need to know the subjects. You need to know the number of hours. Sometimes you need to also know the number of credits, right, that you'll be teaching. So FAME allows you to create playlists. So let's say that you'll be teaching computer science, right, as an idea, and then you select the computer science courses right there by age. So now you have the subject, right? That's what you want. Now you need to have certain number of hours in the year or the term or the semester, you name it. You need to have 5 or 20, your school, right? So this would be something that you have to go and create a playlist. So if I go here to that course and I can say, let's create a playlist. So this is, the topic would be science or computer or coding, introduction, right? And you save that playlist. Now FAME has a bit of AI that is helping you to make decisions, right? So now this one tells you, okay, that course you've selected, it has prerequisites. Would you like to bring just one, or would you like to bring the whole series? I would say the whole series. You click on add all, and now you can see that's been added successfully. And now you go in and say playlist coding introduction, right? And it has 6 courses right there. You created a playlist, you can still finesse it. You'll see the name of the playlist. You'll see how many courses you have in that playlist. You can also see more detailed information, like how many hours of homework you have in that playlist. You can see the number of credits that FAME grants, and also it will ask you at your institution what would be the equivalent for that. So high schools that are offering dual credits, this is very useful, right? So as soon as you enter any number right there for your high school or any post-secondary institution, then FAME will give you a conversion. So this way you make sure that the number of hours and credits are always being completed by your students. Now down below you have the courses, right? You can see the titles, very easy to follow, like Introduction to Scratch 1, Scratch 2, 3, and so on. But you also have a sequence that you can set, and you can see those purple circles, 1, 2, 3, and so on. So you can leave the sequence as FAME suggests, or you can have your own sequence. Let's say you're an advanced coding teacher, right? And you want to start with this one. You drag it and drop it like that. Now you can also have a couple of options for your students. You say up here, it says, can I follow my own thing that I want? Yes or no. So this would basically say, hey, my students have to follow what I said, or I can allow them to do their own courses that they want, right? People are interested in courses, and they would be able to access any course that they want. Now keep in mind that if you do that, some courses may have concepts that are required for the next course to move on. And lastly, you have also the name for this playlist. So you can basically rename that one as your course, Introduction to Coding, right? And then that would be the name for your playlist for the whole course. Whatever you want to name it, that would be for your class and your school as well. All right, so now we're moving forward. You have your courses, you understand them, you have your playlist. Now you need your students. So you click on the students menu and you go to the actions sub-menu right there. Now again, you have add student one by one, or if you have Excel sheet, then you can import them all at once. Let's keep it simple and add one by one. Here you enter your student information, the name, right, first name, and the last name. And again, we recommend that you have a test student account so you can really verify how they see things. You send the invite, you get the confirmation, and again, you have now a student that's waiting to be activated through their account. Once your students open their emails, they will receive your invitation. If they haven't seen any of the emails, you can ask them to check on the junk mail, right? Or you may need to ask your IT person at the school to validate the myfame.org domain. There's 3 emails that contain the same information. Fame is trying to reach your students from different servers so they can actually receive your invitation. Once you look at the invitation, it's fully identified for privacy. It says, hey, student, Brigitte Bella, your teacher has sent you a private invitation to Fame. So we're tracking who's inviting who within Fame. You can also track them as well. Let's go through the student onboarding process. You click on the Activate Now. It takes them to a very familiar screen that you've seen before in your teacher onboarding process. Except this one now, it says the name of the student and that this would be a student account. They click on Create a New Account, click on Continue, right? You go there, I'm gonna say grade 12 or post-secondary, either or, you select the one that you want. Now the password as well. Make sure you confirm that one. And everyone has the same agreement within Fame, and you click on Continue. As simple as that, 3 steps, a couple of seconds, and then they can jump onto the start learning process within Fame. Once the student accesses their Fame account, they can see their name, their role, the school that they belong to. If you added their logo, you can see the logo of the school and the customization from the school. They can also see that there's a notification right there. And what this is doing is that Fame is helping teachers to onboard their students as soon as they can, right? So the Fame is taking the work out of the teachers, essentially saying, listen, student, please take this course. It's called Fame Getting Started, so you know what Fame is. So they click on that one. It takes them to their first course right there that they can start without the teacher, so they know how Fame works, and they would be also set up and running with their student account as quickly as they can. So once the students click on the course library, now they can see, okay, so now all these courses are offered to me by my school and by my teacher, which is kind of cool though to see all those things happening. However, another cool thing is that they're blocked, right? And why that's cool? Because now Fame is waiting for the teacher to say, what do you want me so far? What she sees is that she has that invitation for that course. She also has lots of courses, right? But there's no access to any of these ones. So as a teacher, you have a couple of decisions to make. One would be that you have a specific course you want her to take. You have also your playlist that you want, or some teachers have possibly no time and they want their students to be accessing FAME at will, right? So let's just do one by one. Select the student first, and then you go to the actions menu. Then you're gonna see here that says assign courses, right? And here you say, listen, you're gonna do my Scratch courses because this is my coding class, right? So you do that, right? And then you assign that course. So let's see what happens. Now that one course has been assigned, I go to the student right there, and as soon as she receives maybe an email, a notification also, the notification will be up here saying, listen, you have a new course. I can see that notification says new course assigned, right? So she can go to that menu called my courses right there, and she can see, okay, now I have this, and I have the original one that is called FAME Getting Started, and she can start those courses. The second option for you would be that, hey, listen, you have a full-on playlist. You go to the student you selected, go to the courses, and then you go to the playlist. Now, what's interesting about this one is that every single teacher in your school can share your curriculum, right? So that's kind of cool because now we're helping you throughout the school to reuse your assets. You have that playlist called Introduction to Coding, created by a teacher, and you can assign that as well. So now she's gonna have here a full-on list of courses that she has to attend. And if I go to my courses, now this one says, okay, you have all these courses right there, and the playlist is called Introduction to Coding. And the teacher that you have would be Sonia. So you can see how all these things are getting to be together. Now you can see that also, as a student, I can access any course that I want, like start any course. And if I go back to that playlist, we had a setting that we said, listen, I want you to follow my sequence because I have a certain process for the grading and the assignments, right? So let me go back to my playlist as a teacher, right? And then close this one. Close it, go back to the student, and click on my courses. Okay, so now everything's closed, right? There's only two that are open. This one's mandatory. And then the other ones, if I want to get to this one, there's a prerequisite. And you can see it right there. My first course that I said would be Scratch 4, right there. Now the second course would be Introduction to Scratch. And if I want to start this one, as a student says, well, you know, your teacher's saying that you have to start with my prerequisite called Scratch 4. Awesome, awesome. You can see how these things are getting to be now together. The last option would be you click again to my students. Their students would be on their library. And you can see Brigitte, what she's up to. You can see every course update, every activity that she's doing, right? And then on this one, the last step would be that you select that student again, and then you say, listen, for that student, she's gonna have full access. And that means that all the courses that you have will be unlocked, and she can take courses at will. FAME also allows teachers to select the type of assessment that they prefer. You can see there's a column called assessment type, and you see that it says quiz, right? Quiz, and in every row, depending on the course, it says quiz right there. And that's okay because FAME, it's basically your teaching assistant. It's helping you out with some of the assessment. You can also say, listen, for all the courses, or just a few of them, you'll be selecting the manual assessment. So you go to the actions menu, assessment type, you click on that, and you turn manual assessment. Click on apply. Everything changes now to that, and you're just asking FAME to let you know every single step that they're taking throughout their assigned courses. Let's have a look to see how it actually works on the student side. So I have a course that I was assigned, and I can start or continue my course. Once I click on that, I can see my desktop as a student, and I can see that now my session 3 has been open, right? I can see the assignment, I can see the session, the lesson. I have to see it to understand what is required, right? And I also have a couple of things. I have a quiz to be completed, and I also have an assignment, so I have to successfully mark both, right? If I go and say take quiz, what's hard coding? And obviously I need to know from the session what that means, and that would be this one. That's the answer. So once I do that as a student, I can go into my assignment and say, listen, you need to upload your example of a hard coding variable. So I do that by dragging and dropping either through a desktop or laptop or a phone, and I upload that. That gets into my desktop, and I mark the lesson as complete. We need the student to mark the lesson as complete, or being a person and not AI or anything else. It has to be the actual student. Okay, now on the other side, what I have is that I have now assignments being sent to me. So I get notifications through emails, notifications on my dashboard, and also here notifications on the assignments. So it says, my student Brigitte has now completed session 2 and session 3. You have to start looking into those ones, see assigning the grade, for instance, in that session, see what was the assignment talking about, what's hard coding. Right now they see that, you can see their actual assignment that was submitted, and you can review it, right? I can see, okay, hard coding would be on this one, for instance. And now you down below, you see how to grade that. Did they understand the assignment? You say, yes, they understood it, right? You go there, you can leave some comments per criterion. All the GPAs, everything has been calculated for you on the go. And you can see that every single assessment, it's similar, but it changes based on the actual subject and topic. Once you do that, save the final comment, you send it over for their file. She gets a notification again saying, listen, you have now a new grading. She's getting more notifications. The last one would be, there's a grading notification right here. So it says grading, you click on that one, and as you can see, okay, my session 3 has been assessed manually by my teacher Sonia on that day, on that time, and these are the results, right? Some comments right there, my GPA, what's happening, and I can see all that. If on my teacher account I go back to that student, I can start now seeing my results as well. So I can see Brigitte, she's working on this course, Scratch 4. She's on the 18% progress, and she was online working on that course 28 seconds ago. I can now go into the information and then see, okay, what is she doing on my quizzes side. You see, like, she's attempting twice the same quiz, and what is it that as a teacher I've been grading. So I graded now grade 3, or the lesson 3. I need to grade lesson 2 as well, and so on. But now you can see how all these things are coming together into one place. Let's talk about class participation. Every role, regardless if you're a teacher or a student, you're going to see a menu called the FAME feed, and that's the activity for your class, for your school, and so on. You can see it on this account. You can also see it on that account. Now, you can also see that there's a help forum. On this one, you're going to see all the questions that are based on a point system, and you can see also all the answers that are given points based on the answer as well. So that enables teachers to help their students on a peer-to-peer support, and also alleviates teachers from answering all the questions. In order to use the help forum, let's go through these steps. To ask a question to your school's community or the open community within FAME, you click on the ambulance icon. It'll prompt you for a posting question right there, and the ambulance is there requesting for help. Now, in order to ask a question, you have to be clear about that, about the answer that you're trying to get, right? So an example would be, an ambiguous question would be, how do I take a screenshot? Now this is a question that will generate more questions, right? But if you say something like, would be easily understood, how do I take a screenshot on a Windows system, right? That's what you really want to see, right? So you type that in and then you create that post, right? And that's going to go now into the feed right there, and every single one is going to see that question. And now they can answer that with the idea, you know, this is like now saying on the help forum, how do I take a screenshot, right? And so people can say, oh, you know, press Control R, for instance, right? Or use the snipping tool, something like that. So now the answer would be there, and then Sonia now can see the collected answers, and she can click on the ambulance just to mark the answer as complete, and that would grant participation points to your students, and that would be also reflected in her profile.